Welcome back, Focus Learners. We've got a seriously mind-bending explainer for you today. We're tackling this incredible mystery that sound isn't just, something vibrating in your eardrum. It's actually the literal fundamental building block of our entire universe. We're going to be crossing ancient history, quantum physics, and modern music all in one go.
Okay, let's dive right into this with a pretty profound thought from Nikola Tesla. He essentially said that if you really want to understand reality, you have to stop looking at objects as solid things and start looking at them as vibrations. And the wild part is, this isn't just some poetic metaphor, it's a literal, working framework for how the entire cosmos operates.
If you're wondering why Tesla said that, well, just ask any quantum physicist. When they zoom way in on an atom, they don't find tiny, solid little billiard balls. No, they find that an atom is actually 99.9999999% empty space. And that incredibly tiny fraction of a percent left over, it's literally just fluctuating electromagnetic fields. So everything around you, the chair you're sitting on, the screen you're looking at, is essentially a localized sound wave.
Section 1. Sound, the universal architect.
What's absolutely fascinating here is that thousands of years before we even had electron microscopes to prove that matter vibrates, ancient humans somehow already knew it. Look across completely isolated eras and geographies, and you'll see they shared the exact same core belief about creation. In Egypt, around 3100 BC, the god Ptah supposedly spoke the world into existence. In ancient Hinduism, it was the vibration of And over in the Americas, Pueblo traditions taught that a spider literally sang the world into being. The consensus was that the universe wasn't built, it was composed.
Let's bring this massive macro-universe concept all the way down to the micro level of your own body. If we are born into a universe made of sound, it makes perfect biological sense that the inner ear is the very first sense organ to develop in the human embryo. This starts when we are barely a millimeter in size. By weeks 16 to 24, our auditory nerves are directly wiring into our nervous system. Long before we can see, smell, or taste, we're basically baptized in sound and vibration right there in the womb.
Which brings us to a really crucial concept, fractals. Now, a fractal is simply a geometric pattern that repeats at every single scale. This perfectly grounds that ancient Hermetic idea of as above, so below. Human biology, down to our very development in the womb, acts as a fractal printout of the cosmic symphony. We are quite literally a micro-reflection of the macro universe.
Section 2. The math of creation. So if the universe is a symphony, then mathematics has to be the sheet music, right? Nikola Tesla had an absolute, undeniable obsession with the numbers 3, 6, and 9. He truly believed they held the key to the universe. And this directly mirrors what the Russian mystic George Gurdjieff called the law of threes. That's the idea that for absolutely any phenomenon to manifest in reality, it requires three things: a wholly affirming, a wholly denying, and a wholly reconciling force. Basically, three elements are always required to move from pure energy into physical matter.
And this brilliantly illustrates how deeply intertwined biology and sound really are. When human cells divide, they follow a very strict mathematical pattern: 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Now watch what happens to musical frequencies as they double to create higher octaves. 27 Hz doubles to 54, then 108, 216, and finally to 432 Hz. It's an exact match. Human cell mitosis is mirroring the exact same mathematical doubling pattern as musical octaves.
We also see the number 12 acting as this bizarre, universal mathematical decoder across human history. Think about it: 12 months, 12 hours on a clock face, 12 inches in a foot. And when you use 12 as a multiplier against whole numbers, it cleanly produces both of the highly debated sacred frequencies we are looking at today. 36 times 12 gives you exactly 432 Hz. And 44 times 12, that gives you exactly 528 Hz.
Section 3. 432 Hz versus 528 Hz.
Okay, here we are. These are the two most hotly debated frequencies in history, with each side claiming theirs is the ultimate harmonic resonance of nature. Let's start with 432 Hz. The primary argument for 432 is its connection to the Schumann resonance. That's the measurable electromagnetic frequency of the Earth itself, which has historically pulsed right around 8 Hz. Because 432 is a clean, whole number multiple of 8, tuning music to 432 Hz is widely considered to be perfectly in tune with the natural heartbeat of our planet.
And the historical footprints for this are everywhere. We see the number 432 pop up in ancient Babylonian texts, which claim 432,000 years passed between creation and the Great Flood. The base of the Great Pyramid of Giza measures exactly 432 long cubits. It's even mathematically calculated into the stones of Stonehenge. There are even claims in the source material that ancient builders, or perhaps the Anunnaki, intentionally encoded this exact math into the 60-base timekeeping system that we still use every single day.
Now let's look at the challenger, 528 Hz. This frequency originates from the solfeggio frequencies, which is an ancient musical scale of 6 notes famously used in deeply spiritual religious chants. In this scale, 528 Hz is known as the miracle or love node. So while 432 is intimately connected to the Earth, mathematicians and researchers point out that 528 Hz is mathematically tied to the measurable frequencies emitted by the Sun and the planet Saturn.
So, the crucial point is really understanding how these two uniquely affect the human body. 432 Hz grounds us. It connects us to the Earth. It's said to stimulate the root chakra for feelings of safety, and studies even show it actively lowers heart rate and blood pressure. 528 Hz, on the other hand, is all about healing and love. It connects to the sun, stimulates the heart chakra, and research suggests it actually increases oxytocin levels, lowers cortisol, and even promotes DNA repair.
But hearing all of these incredible benefits brings up a massive, completely undeniable question. If 432 Hz and 528 Hz are so mathematically perfect and biologically beneficial to us, why is almost all of the modern music you listen to today, whether it's on Spotify or the radio, tuned to a completely different frequency, 440 Hz?
Section 4. The 440 Hz Controversy. The story of how our global music standard shifted is just filled with historical compromise and, well, depending on who you ask, a serious bit of mystery. In 1939, an international conference standardized global tuning to exactly 440 Hz. Why? Historically speaking, it was a compromise. The BBC pushed for 440 because their electronic clocks were having a ton of trouble generating the prime number 439. However, there are some highly debated fringe theories that suggest this wasn't an accident at all. Some claim entities like the Rockefeller Foundation intentionally pushed for 440 Hz to disconnect us from those sacred natural vibrations, subtly inducing psychosocial agitation and stress in the masses.
Regardless of why the standard was changed, the math tells a super fascinating story. Remember our universal decoder number 12? When we divide the Earth-based 432 Hz by 12, we get a clean, perfect 36. But when we divide the modern 440 Hz standard by 12, we get an infinitely repeating 36.666. From a purely mathematical standpoint, 440 Hz completely shatters the clean, sacred geometry that geniuses like Tesla and Pythagoras championed.
Section 5. Tuning your own reality.
So, what does this all mean for you? How can you practically apply these ancient sonic secrets to your actual daily life? Well, consider this foundational truth. The universe is heavily composed of water, and so are you. You're over 50% water. This is a big deal because sound waves manipulate water perfectly. In fact, scientists have successfully used the 528 Hz frequency to help clear patches of water affected by the BP Deepwater oil spill. Just think about that. If a frequency can literally help restore polluted ocean water, imagine what intentionally listening to it could do for the water inside your own body.
The best part is, you don't need a fancy lab to test this. You can start experimenting with it right now. Just find a quiet place and decide what it is you need. Do you want to lower your anxiety and get grounded with 432, or focus on self-love and deep healing with 528? Focus your energy on that goal. Then, put on some intentionally tuned music, or better yet, grab a Himalayan singing bowl or a tuning fork and physically match that frequency with your own voice.
Both 432 Hz and 528 Hz offer incredible, historically documented benefits. One connects you deeply to the earth beneath your feet, while the other connects you to the healing power of the cosmos. The universe is a symphony, and you actually get to choose your instrument. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you go about your day. Which frequency will you use to tune your reality today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.